Hello, hello. I hope you are well. Thank you for tuning in and joining me today. Now, I've had a little bit of a connection issue with my account, so I just want to make sure that I share this live to the right place. So bear with me um, as I do that. And whilst I am doing that, please do come and say hello. Um, Please let me know you are here, and I would love to know what your plans are for the weekend. We are on Friday. Um, Let me see. Would not go live. Here we are. Right. There we go. Admin taken care of. Apologies for that, especially if you're watching on the replay, because that is pretty boring to watch on a replay. And if you are, give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you are here. I would love to know that you are tuning in and watching today. For those of you that are new to me, if you have stumbled across this live session, hello, welcome. My name is Annette Ferguson. I am CEO of Annette & Co, UK-based accounting firm. I'm a chartered accountant, certified profit first professional and financial strategist. And of course, we take care of all the typical stuff that you would expect a competent accountant to do: annual accounts, tax work, bookkeeping. But where we thrive is supporting business owners to take more money home from their business for them and their families to enjoy. It is something that I'm absolutely passionate about and love getting in place with small business owners. So today I'm going to be speaking about working with friends and family. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And what my views on it are. So I used to think, this is going to be a giveaway, spoiler. I used to think that there was no way I wanted to work with family members. When I was in corporate, I moved jobs actually to the same company that my husband worked for, and I was very aware that I wanted to check and double check that our roles would not basically meet each other during the working day, that actually it was separate, because I was very worried about essentially taking work home and having those work discussions over the dinner table. And I didn't want to be in that situation. However, over the years, my view and position on this has changed somewhat. When I started the business, it was just me working in my business. My husband had a full-time job at that point in time, so it was just me that was doing the business related things. And in all honesty, I still really had that mindset where I didn't want to be discussing work over the dinner table, and so I didn't actually discuss it a huge amount with him at that point in time. Fast forward a couple of years, his brother actually came on board as a bookkeeper for the business. So that was the first kind of foray into working with family and friends. And it worked. It worked. And it works when you, in my opinion, when you keep communication open, but also if you are working with friends and family, I think there needs to be some divide between, not speaking about their work around the Christmas dinner table, but having those set times to actually have those discussions and having those regular meetings like you would with any other employee or team member. And so he worked with me and still does. In fact, he's worked with me for a number of years now. And on the flip side, I also had my dad's company as a client for a number of years too, whilst he was running his business. So I've had it on both sides. I've had as team members and also as clients. I've had a number of friends who are clients. And of course, you go into a situation where you have clients who become friends. I've also had clients who become team members. So they've kind of been clients and then friends and then team members. So I've had people morphing throughout the different relationships quite a lot over my time running my business. And in the last 6 to 8 months, my husband has come on board in a much stronger role in the business as well. He has come on board supporting on two sides, really, on supporting on some of the client work, but also strategically on that side as well. So he has a much more active role in the business now as well. And as I said, my brother-in-law is still working for me. Recently, we have taken my niece on board as well. And so I am a believer now. I did not used to be, but I am a believer now that working with friends and family can be really lovely. And most of the time it is really lovely because most of the time there's nothing that goes wrong. The difficulty is when there is. The difficulty is when there is something that goes wrong, being able to separate essentially those relationships in your head and making decisions and having conversations on behalf of the business and everyone involved in that, understanding that that is what that is. And in all honesty, that is hard. That is not easy. Everyone needs to be on the same page that you're having the discussion on behalf of the business versus you having a go at a family member. And so it's really hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's hard to have those discussions. It's hard to make sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to the hard conversations. If somebody is not pulling their weight, if you feel like they are not listening to you or following instructions, or they're cutting corners, those conversations are really challenging. More challenging, I think, when it is a family member or a close friend that you're having those conversations with, because like I say, you then go around and have dinner with them on a Saturday night and actually making sure that the relationships don't sour anywhere as a result of that. Now, of course, as always with all relationships, that is about communication, understanding, and boundaries. And that will, that's always the case in any relationship. It just has to be a bit more clear if it is friends and family that you are taking on board or working with, whether that be as a customer or client of yours, whether that be as a supplier, or whether that be as a team member or employee. It works across the board in each of those roles. So I feel like I've spoken a lot about communication in the last couple of weeks since I've been back on my regular live streams. But I think for me, that is really what it boils down to: having communicating the boundaries, understanding when you're not going to speak about work. For me, I like to confine it to kind of one-to-one calls during the working day. I don't like if we're sitting around watching telly and we have a work discussion, that's harder for me to have. I find that more challenging, but that might not be the case for you. That's not necessarily the case for everyone, but that is harder for me, for sure. And so understanding what everyone accepts and doesn't accept in terms of when you have those work-based discussions, and making sure that everyone understands that sometimes you are having to have discussions on behalf of the business and it is not personal. It's nothing against anybody personally, but similarly, that can be the way with any team member and employee as well. So any conversation you have with anybody, it's for them to understand that it's on behalf of the business, and they should not be taking things personally, because that would not be your intention. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. I am a fan now of working with family and friends. I think your family often have a lot of buy-in from day one, from the get-go, and that is lovely to have around you, because they will rally for you, especially if times are hard. They will rally around for you in that situation. So I am a big fan now. I did not used to be. I used to think my business was my baby. It was for me to look after, and it wasn't for any of my family to get involved in. And I have completely flipped on that over the years. And I actually now would go so far as to say I would recommend getting friends and family involved. I would recommend that your spouse knows all about your business, how it works, how it functions, who your customers and clients are, because them having a slightly different viewpoint can be really helpful in discussions about next steps, strategy, and the kind of support that you need at home as well. So I hope that this session has given you some food for thought. Maybe have started to change your mind on working with family and friends. If you have any questions about it, I'm happy to answer those. So do let me know in the comments. I will come back and look at that later as well in case anybody comments later on. But it has been lovely to speak to you today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. It is, of course, Friday as we are speaking about this now. So I hope that you have a lovely, lovely weekend, and I will be back on Monday. Have a good one. I'll speak to you soon. Take care, everyone.